And now what we want to do is we want to set our background view settings so that all of our views, all of our floor plans have consistent and good looking backgrounds, which is kind of a CAD term. But we've got a method for doing it that we call the bi-linked view method, that for 90+% of your projects, it's going to be the best way. It takes a little bit of time to set up at the beginning, but it is going to almost certainly save you time through the length of the project in terms of fiddling with settings, and it's going to make your sheets look good consistently across all disciplines. That's the aim here. So unless you have a really good, compelling reason not to use the bi-linked view method, we recommend sticking with the bi-linked view method. So I'm going to walk through how that works, and I'm going to take some time to explain it. So this is going to be a slightly longer video, but the process of actually doing it, once you get the hang of it, once you understand how it works, doesn't take that long at all. I'm going to have a separate video where I just go through a model setup at sort of normal speed where I'm not explaining everything, so you can see what I mean by that. So what we're going to do is we're going to close the Start Here view. We don't need that anymore. We come to the Project Setup Backgrounds bi-linked view. We're going to set our floor plans first. And so we see we've got a view per level. And so I'm going to open up the level 1. And so here we see the architectural background, and it looks kind of okay out of the box. We do have things set up so that out of the box, let me just show you. So out of the box, the floor plans, the backgrounds should look not completely heinous. And we have that set up so that if you're just ripping up a project model and you want to get out some, PDF backgrounds, maybe some markups, you can do that really, really quickly. But for everything to be consistent, we want to do the bi-linked view method. And so this is where we get into view templates. So you notice for this view, you've got this view template locked to it. It's RevX bi-linked view level 01. So let's go check out what's going on in here. So this view template is applying to only the VG overrides RevX link settings, because you can see where it says include and there's all these checkboxes. VG overrides RevX links is the only one that's checked. I don't have to worry about these. And now, so keep that in mind. For this view template, only VG overrides RevX links is checked. And now if I open a mechanical floor plan, and I go to the view template, so it's the M sheet view template that is locked to this series of sheets. And this is, generally true for all the views in this model. Just about, here we are, M sheet. You'll notice almost all of the categories are checked except for VG overrides RevX links. And sometimes some other categories are not, but that's a different matter. So VG overrides RevX links is not checked. And so what that means is, for all these views, we can keep these settings for M sheet, and the mech piping plans, they have M sheet piping plan. There's a whole bunch of view templates that control all of the other views, gas plans, etc. But we want the backgrounds to look consistent. And if we had to set the backgrounds, the VG RevX settings in every single view template, that would be an enormous amount of work. We would like to set view templates that control the backgrounds once and apply them to all. And so it's this include checkbox that is the key to this solution, because what we can do is you can right click any view and you can say apply template properties, and we could come down here and we could say apply the RevX bi-linked view level 01 and just apply the properties. It's not going to lock the settings to this view because this view is being controlled by the M sheet gas plan, but since there's that hole, that checkbox that's unchecked in this view template, it's going to flash those settings from the other view template, which will update the background settings. This will make more sense once we go through it, and after you've done it a few times, it'll make a lot of sense. You'll just get used to the process. It's a little bit of an investment in terms of skill and experience getting it under your belt, but once you do, your projects are going to be more consistent. You're going to run into fewer issues with background visibility issues and forgetting things and all that sort of stuff. So it's worth it to do this method. Okay, so that's enough explanation. Let's get to actually doing it. So I'm going to go to RevX bi-linked view 01. I come in here to the view template. I'm going to move this to the side so we can kind of see. going to click Edit next to the Override VG Revit links. And then here for architecture, so I'm deciding just for this tutorial, for this project, I'm not going to show structural. It's the same process if you did want to show structural elements in these views. But so I go to the custom button here, and then I need to change it to by linked view. I'll give you a little warning, and then set the view to point to. So remember when I was in the architectural model, I made a point of looking at which views the architect was using on their sheets that I wanted to emulate. And this architectural model is very simple. There's not very many options. It's pretty obvious what to do here, but it's very common for the architectural models that you'll deal with, particularly as you get further along in design. This will be a very long list indeed, and it might not be obvious which view you want to use. So that's why I would take a screenshot of it before. But for this one, it's obvious it's floor plan 01 entry level. So I make sure it's set to that, and then I'm going to hit apply to lock those settings in. And you can see in the background here, it updated it. So I've got all the dimensions and tags and door tags and everything going on here. And this looks exactly the way the architect has it in their sheet. And it's important to understand that not only is it showing the dimensions and things, if they did things with detail lines, if they drew stuff in 2D, if they use plan regions to, say, change the view range in a particular area, which is very common, it also pulls that in. This looks exactly the way it does on the architect sheet, except for the fact that it's halftone. Now that's very important because some of those settings, like the detail lines and the plan regions, there's no way for you to get your background to look exactly, to match those exactly, except by using the by linked view method. It's one of the reasons why we recommend it so highly. If you just do this, your backgrounds will always look the way that you want. But obviously, you know, most certainly you don't want their wall tags and their door tags, and probably you don't want their window tags and their dimensions. So we want to turn those off. We want to retain the other view settings, but we would like to turn the dimensions and such off. So we've got a little bit more work to do in the view template. So let's go back into the view template. VG overrides Revit links. Go to by linked view. And by the way, something that trips people up sometimes is they haven't gone deep enough. They click edit here, and then they go to model categories, annotation categories. They're not done yet. You need to go Revit links tab, by linked view, and then you're in the Revit link display settings. This is how deep you need to go, not here. So now that you've got it set to by linked view, to turn off some of their annotations and other settings, go to change it back to custom. So it keeps the settings, but now we can start to tweak and remove some of the settings. So go to the annotation categories tab, change it from by linked view to custom. And for this, we want to turn everything off. So click all and then uncheck things. Find the grids category, select the grids. We'll keep the grids here. We just hit apply. You can see that the grids are still here, but it turned off just about all the other annotations. Now there's one other thing. I typically don't run into this, but in this particular model it is, and it's a good case study so that I can show you how to control some things. You see this hatch pattern? It's hatching the floor with this, I don't know, this flecky pattern. Looks bad. I don't want that on my backgrounds. So I'm going to go into model categories and pull that out. So I can go to model categories, change that to custom as well. And then I'm going to go to floors, and that is a pattern that I can just override and turn off. So I'm going to turn that off, hit OK, hit apply, and it takes that out. So so now I've got this view template cleans up the backgrounds nicely. And you might say, well, what about room tags? That's the next video. We'll get to that. So I like the way this looks, and I would like to apply this to my views. So let's go to Mechanical Floor Plan 01. And so you notice that this, it doesn't look terribly different, but the difference is that you can see the room tags. This particular model happens to be not such a big difference when you see this versus versus the view template. But just to demonstrate how it works, come in here and I right-click this view. I say Apply Template Properties, and then I come down and I select Revit by Linked View Level 01, which again, it's only going to apply this one. Don't worry about that. Hit OK. It's going to warn me. I say yes, and it flashes those settings to this view. So that looks good. Now you say, great, but now I have to go through and like hunt down all the 01 plans and right-click them and apply the view template. That's a lot of clicks. Well, no, there's a faster way to do it. So I'm going to come up here to the Project Browser Organization, right-click, Browser Organization. I'm going to change the organization to by associated level. And so all of the floor plans in this hierarchy are all the ones that are associated with level 1. So I'm just going to multi-select all the floor plans, not the RCPs, all the floor plans, and say Apply View Template, Revit by Linked View Level 01, and now I've just flashed my cleaned up background settings to all of the Floor 1 plans in my entire project, all disciplines, etc. So that's how to do it, and that was the kind of verbose version where I explained what I was doing. Now I'm going to go back and just do it quickly so you can, at normal speed rather, so you can see me do it and get an idea for how it works in a little bit more fluid form. So here we go. Going to go to the view template. Going to go to VGO, right, Revit links, edit, architecture, say custom. I'm going to change it to by linked view. I'm going to set the linked view to my target view, which is O2 floor in this case. I'm going to hit apply. And then I'm going to change it to custom. It doesn't work to just say by linked view and then change it back to custom. That doesn't change anything. You have to say by linked view, hit apply, then come back to custom to tweak some of these settings in here. Turn on grids. In this particular model, you override the pattern for the floors. You probably won't have to do that. I don't see too many clients, architects doing that sort of thing in their models. So level 2 is done. I'm going to do level 3. And so now I'm just setting all of the background view templates in one go, and then I'm going to apply them all in a second. So change it to by linked view. Make sure that it's the right target view. Apply it. Change it back to custom. Custom. Okay. And then the roof. Now for the roof, there's no, actually, never mind. Carrying on. Grids. For the roof, there's no floors, there's no hatch patterns, so I didn't need to make any model element modifications. I like the way this looks. Yeah. Okay, so now I've got my view template set. I can go ahead and apply them all. We're going to associated level. So all the level 2 floor plans, apply view template. Yeah, two, yep. Apply level 3. And apply roof. Now there's one final thing to note about the background settings. We'll go back into our guinea pig view here. It's to note that what I've done is I've flashed the settings from those view templates, from the Revit by linked view, 01, 02, 03, etc. view templates. I've flashed them to these views. I have not locked these views because these views are locked to the M sheet view template. They're locked to the gas plan view template, the piping floor plans view template. So if I've got any modifications that I need to make to the backgrounds, if in the future after this point I need to go make a change to the settings, let's say I need to make some kind of settings to Revit by linked view 01, these settings, if I make a change in this view template, then I need to reflash this view template to all the level 1 views. It only takes a moment. It's not a big deal, but you need to understand that just because this is a view template, this view right here, Revit by linked view 01 up here, this is the only view that's actually locked to this and will update based on the updates you make to this view template. All the other views, all the other level 1 views, you have to flash. And that's why I use that word flash. It implies you send it, but it's not locked, right? So if you have any updates to make to this view template, you need to reflash it to all of the level 1 sheets. Just something to keep in mind. All right, that's that. In the next video, we will take care of our room tags.